everyone, and welcome to another walkthrough from Blood Haze, a Zul'jin 10-man guild. I am Groltank. Now let's get this walkthrough rolling. Today, we will be looking at Malkorok, the 9th boss in the Siege of Orgrimmar raid. We use 2 tanks, 3 healers, and 5 DPS. During this encounter, the boss throws up a debuff to every player, allowing no healing to go through. However, it will instead cause overhealing to create a shield that can go up to be equal to a player's health pool. So for once, you will never hear anyone complain about overheals. From a tanking perspective, you want to hold the boss until around 15 stacks of the boss's debuff. And then at any point after that, you simply just want to taunt as your debuff falls off. This remains constant throughout the entire fight. We separated our ranged DPS and healers around the platform. As you can see, we've assigned them sections based off of the wooden planks that run from the center. The reason that we do this is because the boss will throw out purple swirlies. These swirlies, if not occupied by a player, will result in a raid-wide AoE equaling almost about 500k damage per energy swirly that's not occupied. Now, under normal circumstances, we had our off-tank simply take the one in melee, as to not actually reduce the damage from our melee, because we did find that it was a DPS loss if we sent them to those implosions the entire time. So the off-tank was easily able to take care of that and pretty much heal themselves up afterwards. The boss will also do another move, which is basically called an arcing smash. It will target a random player around the outside of the room and smash that entire quadrant. The player must simply move out of that area in order to avoid the damage. If you get hit by this, not only will it deplete your shield and possibly do a little bit of extra damage to you, but if comboed with one of the other boss's moves, where he will actually launch you into the air, if it's comboed with that and you're not healed quickly, it could actually be fatal. So it's very important that you move away from that as fast as possible. Now, in regards to these smashes, this boss has a certain order that he follows in Phase 1, making him extremely easy. He will smash throughout the purple swirlies, smash again, purple swirlies, smash a third time, third purple swirlies, and then shortly after the last swirlies he will do a breath. Now, as you can see, during these smashes we are marking the locations which were smashed. The reason that we are doing this is when the boss breaths, he will again target those areas that he previously smashed and cause them to explode with shot energy. If you are standing in that and you are not a tank or have a very high life pool or a cooldown, you will get one-shotted. This is extremely easy to avoid and must be avoided. The way that we did it, we simply put marks on our tanks and we pulled the boss back to an area where we knew was not going to be affected. Everybody stacked them, took their purple swirly and then came and stacked on the tanks. Very, very easy to avoid. The boss basically does this rotation twice. So he'll go through the smash purple rotation, smash purple breath all the way through. He'll do that twice. On the second rotation, you want to remain stacked on the tanks. The reason being is because he will transition into Phase 2. Now during Phase 2, as I stated, everyone must remain stacked after the breath. In order to split the damage from the boss's onslaught, the boss will begin just crazy amounts of damage in front of him, and it splits that damage between everybody who's in front of him. Now one of the little kinks to this is random players will actually be targeted with a debuff. The players targeted with this debuff must actually run at least 15 yards out and then be dispelled. They will be taking about 240k damage every 2 seconds while they have that, so they cannot remain in front of the boss or it will be just too much damage to heal through. So they simply run out, get dispelled, run back in. It happens again, you run out, get dispelled, and then you run back in. This debuff is called Displaced Energy. That's how it shows up on DBM, and that's how it also shows up. As you can see, we have it showing up in Say Chat. That way other people can notice it as well. We usually save at least one of our big healing cooldowns for here. I believe we use Healing Tide here, though other healing cooldowns may be just as effective, such as, Spirit Shell or, the Disc Bubble, anything. Also, it should be noted that people can actually be healed during this phase as well. Once phase 2 begins, every player needs to be topped off as fast as possible. As you can see, we had one player that was down extremely low. We were able to get them up before he began his onslaught, therefore, saving that player's life. If you manage to survive this, phase 2 will be, or phase, I apologize, phase 1 will begin all over again, and then simply it's a rinse and repeat.